Good morning, Michigan Center. Here we are in world history. This is Mr. View again, and new shirt. No Tiger King today, suckers. Finished that series. What a train wreck. How is that guy in jail and she's not? Anyway, yesterday we talked more about the Industrial Revolution, but I do want to touch on the stuff that we've already learned. Remember the reasons for the Industrial Revolution, right? The agricultural revolution, the population explosion, and the energy revolution. And then we talked about how it went from making stuff to buying stuff, from country living to city living, from candlelight to light bulbs, from cottages to apartments, et cetera, et cetera. We also learned that people moved to the cities to follow the jobs. Less people needed on the farms, more people needed in the cities, so they moved there. That's urbanization when people moved to the cities. There were a lot of problems in the cities, though. Remember, they were dark, unsafe. There was no running water. There were no sewage systems or police departments and fire departments. So it was kind of dangerous in those cities. And then we talked about early factories going from the putting out system into the factory life, where they were long sheds by water, usually for the water power, and they were very unsafe. Also, no safety devices. If you got hurt or sick, you lost your job. There are lots of problems within the working environment. Yesterday, though, we talked about kids and women in work and how they were abused. They were paid less than the men. They were beaten, harassed, sexually, physically, sometimes, not all the time. I don't want to say that it was all the time. It was some of the times. And there were problems with orphans working, and if they disappeared or got hurt, nobody really cared. Kids as young as 5 were working. A lot of women had to work if they were middle class or poor because they needed two breadwinners in the family. And that's very, very similar to today's society, too. Today, though, we're going on to talk about the Luddites and the protests. Remember, now, if all these bad things are happening, eventually that working class, that we've talked about peasants or middle or low class being the bulk of every society. Think about France, et cetera, et cetera. If those people are always upset or they're getting screwed over all the time, there's going to be issues. 90% of the population generally in that middle class or poor. So here they go, right? One group that protested was called the Luddites. These were people who thought that machines were going to ruin society, that they were taking jobs from people, and that was causing not just unemployment, but people to starve to death. And if people are starving and they don't have stuff, they're going to steal, which obviously creates more crime and things like that. That unequal distribution of wealth is causing issues. Remember that guy. So this unequal distribution of wealth, the Luddites thought they could stop it by smashing machines or burning down factories. That these machines that were causing the problems, and these people, these rich business owners, were causing problems. So let's get rid of them. So they did. They smashed machines. They burned the factories. They even killed some people. And this was a big, big deal, especially in England at the time, where the Industrial Revolution started. The Luddites, when captured, were jailed or killed. Even if you smashed machines, if you were protesting, that was not allowed, and so they would be put to death if they were caught. Strikes were outlawed, so you couldn't organize unions. Those were outlawed too. So if you got a group of people together and you said, "Hey, we're not going to take this anymore. We're going to strike. We're not going to work," they would shoot you. They would kill you, or they'd throw you in jail. You cannot organize. You could not do anything like that. Oh, we want to work 8 hours. No, 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 no. We're making the rules. These rich guys, and they were saying no more of that. So the union stuff was outlawed. The strikes were definitely outlawed. That is coming though soon in the next couple of days with my lecture. This is a short lecture because you have an article to read about the Luddites, and especially some kids that got caught up in it, and bad things happened to them. So read the article, and then you have 7 or 8 questions that you have to answer regarding that article about the Luddites and their protests. So good luck, and I will talk to you soon.